care about us as much as...
Lena Novomieskaya has been the Ural Mountain Director for the Center for Citizen Initiative program since 1994. She has visited America numerous times over the past 2 decades, where she learned about American character and mentality. When her Ural entrepreneurs first came to U.S. companies and homes for free, they couldn't understand what were American motives. Why would they do this for free?
Why are they doing it? I say because they are very sincere and they are very open. And when I talk to the American businessmen and the home hosts, and they always say, Lena, we achieved a good level of our life. Now it's time to share. So that was the answer. Very simple answer. We are ready to share. We are ready to help. And I think this is the most important thing for both. For Russians especially, and also for Americans, because American people also didn't know how we look like, what we do, what we think, because but people were changed. And this is to the success of Russia. This is to the personal success of people. So, and I would say that I'm an example of this. So that I'm very happy that. Well, I had an opportunity to work with this wonderful organization and to meet you folks. Well, you are exceptional. I know that there are many more like you in the United States, and thank you. I want to, on behalf of my colleagues and on behalf of our delegates, I really want to thank you for everything you are doing for Russia, doing for individuals, doing for their businesses. It means a lot, and let's keep it on.
Yeah. So the disintegration of relationships started when? In 99?
Started
2000.
2000.
When Putin came into office.
2000.
But still, if you ask my personal opinion, I would say that on the people-to-people level, we have very good relations.
Absolutely, always.
Always. We've always had...
still today.
And still today. Even I will tell you just a little piece of interesting information about Crimea. Sharon asked me about Crimea, and Lena, what is your opinion? Well, I myself was born in the western Ukraine. In Lviv and Teribovля. I am from western Ukraine. And of course it was like bleeding heart for me when the situation happened. And I decided I need to take a group of activists and we need to go to Crimea to find out really what is happening. Whether it was forced by the government, by the Russian government, whether it was like just their free wish. And because even when Sharon asked me, Lena, what do you think? I said, well, I don't have just one yes or no, good or bad answer. Because I, like Ukrainian, of course, I suffer so that it happened. And I say, we Russians, we didn't want Crimea. We didn't want to take it. So it just happened because the Crimean people, so they had these strikes, they had these demonstrations, and they demanded, so we want to go and join Russia. We want because historically we are part of Russia. So, and I made a group of activists, like Sharon does always, I learned from her. And we went to see with our own eyes and to meet as many people as possible. Also to stop in the streets and to ask them what are they doing, how they are feeling, is it... and well, first I want to say that I haven't heard a single Ukrainian word during our... Not a single Ukrainian word. Everybody spoke Russian. All the signs in Russian. And the people are so eager, to talk to, just you walk and you ask how to get to this place, and they start to talk to you. They just talking and telling all their life and telling how happy they are, so that now with Russia. We didn't ask them. They just told their life stories.
Lena, bistro вопрос, a quick question. We heard in the West that about 95% of the people in Ukraine, a very high number, of the people that were asked in these polls, whether they would like to be part of Russia or part of Ukraine. And like well over 90% said they would like to be part of Russia. The question is, how seriously, how credible are these polls? We're told objectively it's credible, but Europeans and the US don't recognize it. They think it's a rigged poll. What do you think?
When I didn't go, before I didn't go to Crimea, well, I'm speaking about Crimea, I was not in Ukraine. I'm speaking about Crimea. I also thought that, you know, these polls are not 100% true. I didn't believe them. Me personally. But my personal opinion maybe different from the others. So that's why I was just eager to go there. I was eager. It was like insect in myself. So just, Lena, you need to get those who want to talk to people, who want to know the truth, and so on. But when I came and saw that for all these years, when Crimea was a part of Ukraine, it was devastating and devastating. Ukraine took everything. It was like squeezed Crimea, you know, and they didn't do a thing for it. And of course, people were tired. How they will live. But it's contradictional, of course, because they say sometimes what you showed us on TV, we really liked it. The Russia, which we saw on TV, it was much more beautiful than it is now. When we talk to business people, I say, why? Because now we have so many, we have different law, now we have different regulations in business, and so much paperwork, and we are not ready for it. We don't know how to deal with this. So this is their pain. And then, well, I thought that, we Russians, we need to help them. We need to bring business people from Russia. We need to bring consultants who will help them, especially in the beginning, to make their first steps. It's like we, in the beginning of the 90s, the end of the 80s, we didn't know what is law, what are business regulations, and so on and so forth. They are now, well, of course, it will take them more time if they don't have help. We visited several wine-producing factories, champagne-producing factories, and beautiful wines, beautiful champagnes. But we saw managers, and the managers say, if when we were in Ukraine, we had 2 sheets of paper we need to fill, now we have this file, this big file. And and now, because we need to have somebody who will do all this paperwork, so it means that a bottle of champagne, our revenue is only 10 rubles for a bottle of champagne. And this is huge work, huge work. And because taxes, because a lot of people who need to do this. That's why it's the opinion, and it's a little bit controversial. People on the streets, they say we're so happy. So business people say we are happy, but we had a different opinion. So what Russia looks like, so from TV, and now it's not TV, it's life, and we need to live with it, and we need to cope with it. But on the whole, people told us how they went on demonstrations, how they went to their government, how they were not afraid of anything, just they were fighting for to be a part of Russia. So it was sincerely, because I myself, I didn't believe it. Well, if I didn't believe it, how could you believe when you see it on TV different? Well, any more questions about this? Well, I especially went on this trip because I knew that you will be coming, and this question, of course, will arise maybe individually, but I'm telling you openly. So that's.
So you might say that 90% or not, the exact number is maybe debatable, but there's no doubt that the majority,
The majority.
the largest majority would be in favor of alignment with Russia.
Yeah, yeah. And besides, we
In
see...
Crimea.
In Crimea. And besides, we see there that there are many Ukrainians from the eastern part who came to work, to live in Crimea, and they don't receive salary, they don't receive their pensions. I mean, if they are retired, they don't have anything, but they come because they say, well, we can't live in this unstable situation. We are really afraid of, for our families, for our children. So we saw the people like this too. But it was a very good lesson for me. It was really, you know, now I can breathe deeply and freely, so knowing that that was real their decision.
That's exactly what we saw.
When did you go?
Yeah.
Was it last fall? Or
No, I just I went
last week?
recently, last week. No, 2 weeks ago.
When were they those
Very
visits?
This is fresh.
Yeah.
Lydia?
Uh-huh.
One of the problems I think the average American citizen has is a conflict between favoring the Ukrainians from a humanitarian standpoint. We don't want to see them invaded and hurt, not only physically but economically. And the other one is our political process that says we must save Ukraine. Well, what are we saving them from? If they want to go to Russia and they feel obligated to be part of Russia because of what? The better economics, better control? What is it that they want to become part of Russia?
Yeah, well, of course, I think the only thing we can do now with the Ukrainians is, I said, well, again, this is my personal opinion, so we need to help them to get, to live according to the Russian laws, especially business people, and just people, because they also pay taxes for their estate and other taxes. But you know, what they saw, what are the positive things for Crimea, why they want to be a part of Russia. In my opinion, this is the language, first of all. You know, in Ukraine, they didn't allow Ukrainians to speak Russian, to write Russian. Russian language was not allowed at schools, was not at schools. This is the first. So the second is they didn't allow to show, well, Russian culture, so to say, Russian traditions. So everything should be only Ukraine, and but the majority of population in Ukraine are Russians, and speak Russian language.
Blood,
yeah, with Russian blood. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Can you look into the future and see how you see Ukraine settling? Will it divide into two countries? What do you think?
I'm not a politician. I'm just a human being. But for me, I would think, like, well, we have a wonderful example in Russian Federation. We have Tatarstan. So you see, Tatarstan is kind of autonomous. They have their laws, their rules, and very prosperous republic. Very prosperous, in comparison. So of course, I would say I see like Eastern Ukraine, a part of Ukraine, but with autonomy, like autonomous republic. It would be the best. Well, we Russians, we don't need Eastern Ukraine. No, we don't. Of course, we want peace there. This is, I think,
The model of Canada, the Confederation, French Canada, English Canada, something like that.
Very good, yeah, very good suggestion, comment, yeah. I'm not in the government. But we have people there, Alena Nikolaeva, and yeah, well, we may talk to them. Well, again, I will tell you, we never discussed this question among even our delegates, among even Rotarians, because we are out of politics. Yeah, we never discussed it. But well, I felt like I needed, first of all, to decide for myself before I start discussing things. I need to decide what is right, what is wrong, is it true, is it not? Well, like you came here also to see, is it right what you see on your TV, or it's a little bit right, not absolutely.
In the meantime, the sanctions that America put on the economy of Russia, what is their role now? Are they still in effect, or have they been lifted? Give very mixed messages.
About America influences our economy.
No, our sanctions.
Sanctions.
Sanctions. Well, speaking about sanctions, we have not only from America, also from European countries.
Yes.
And I think mainly we suffered in the beginning from European sanctions, because Russia and Europe are very close connected, and both sides suffered. Because, I mean, you know that the farmers went on strike in Europe, in Spain, in Germany, and so on. Because
We never hear about that, by the way.
you did not?
Well, we hear about it, but vaguely. It's
But
not
it
covered
was not
like it is here.
But I mean, it was it's still continuous, because, well, we said, well, your sanctions, of course, but for Russia it was a good thing. I will tell you frankly. We started to develop our own food producing industries, because we were relying on European food and so on, and now we said, well, but, and our farmers, nobody kind of bought their produce, because everybody wanted European produce. They said, oh, it's better, it's and now I think it's a good thing for our production, for our farmers, for our manufacturing. Well, frankly speaking, I myself, I'm suffering a lot, because I'm so much dependent on European cheese. So for me, it's like, oh, everybody who goes, I say, oh, I've got to bring a piece of cheese. So, because, well, they say, oh, this Russian company produces wonderful cheese. So, and maybe I'm so spoiled with it. So, and we buy, this is not, and everything we receive now, they write, oh, it's kind of from Spain, but it's produced here. Different years, there must be years and years, so that. So this is, but I think it will stop from both sides, because already some European companies, food producing companies, they already have special permission, you know, to bring their goods to us.
So the sanctions are sort of being bent.
Sort of being bad and sort of being good.
Yes, yes.
And that's a good one.
So,
And what about gas and oil?
about gas and oil.
Or do you know?
Yeah, for us, of course, that what is negative, and again, I'm telling you my personal opinion. So, of course, when the oil, gas started to be lower, dropping, and the ruble-dollar exchange going up. And now the result of it, we cut 30% the travelers to Europe and America. So, and of course travel agencies, and so they are suffering, they see it 30%. And also the shopping malls, they also experience it. They say that the number of customers decreased 30%. It's like decreased 30%. And now it's hard. And for manufacturers also, manufacturers of furniture, manufacturers of goods. So people started to become more, to save money, just, and not enough money to buy, you know, expensive things, luxury things. So, I don't know, but at the same time, again, I think this is good, because our people, in the last previous years, they started to spend their money, like, you know, and Sharon knows, didn't count the money. They didn't have this saving mentality, like every European, every American. So save for Christmas, for example, save for this. And the Russians don't have this mentality, they never did. And now they are starting to do it. This is a good lesson. And the good lesson is also the growth of patriotism in the young people. I mean,
Patriotism.
patriotism. You know, I will tell you about the Victory Day, the 9th of May. It was amazing. So there were thousands. In Moscow, they said there were about 1 million people working on this, they are known, how to say this?
Tverskaya. Was it Tverskaya?
Well, according
And
to
going to
Tverskaya,
Kremlin.
they went with the pictures of their deceased who died in the war, and every person so had at least two pictures of those. And it was like the sea, the ocean. It was flooding and flooding, flooding and flooding. In Yekaterinburg, we had 20,000. 20,000. This is a big number. So from this age, 3 years old, and up to 80, 90 years old. And everybody was singing, everybody was, well, the unity, it was like our nation started to get united. Well, this is a very positive thing. So I would say, in the end, as a result, there is more positive than negative.
What was the opinion of the Russian people when Obama did not show up?
Well, Merkel, they even didn't expect Obama. You mean for Victory Day?
For Victory Day, or the European leaders as well?
Well, of course, we were, so Merkel didn't show up. And it was like offense for us. It was offense because it means like she didn't come when we lost more than 20 million people because of the fascist regime, and she didn't come to even, well, say excuse us and so on. So it was kind of very painful. She came the next day, but our people, I mean, it was not, it didn't create good attitude to her, to Merkel. Obama, we even didn't expect him. We even didn't think about him. But because we were so, I mean, in war, we were against each other, well, she had to come. That's,
Are Russian people aware of American oil interests and American farming interests coming into Ukraine?
Of course we know that you have an interest in Ukraine. And not only gas, oil and farming. Other interests.
I don't know about the other ones. What are they?
We shall not discuss it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I understand that your government also, every government has their own defense system, and every country has to defend its borders and so on. So, and well, I understand when I'm asked, well, like elderly people, Lena, why you always, work with America and you always say in favor, so this great country, great people, and what excuse, I thought, what excuse can I give to them? And I say, every government has its own defense policy, and this is kind of defense policy. And when Russia became stronger and stronger, and of course then people started to see it, the government started to see it, what could they do? Yes, besides the purposes of selling, there is another purpose of defending their borders, their country. Well,
Is it about time?
yes, this is,
Question.
yeah.
Do exchanges of people help to heal the fear of businesses coming in?
Well, the exchanges of people are always helpful. They are always helpful.
Definitely.
Huh?
Definitely.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. No, that's no. We even don't quarrel, don't conflict about. I think everybody has the same opinion. The more people come and meet each other, the more people will you'll come back, and you are connected with businesses, schools, universities, or whatever, and you will tell, you know, we are like we are, and we are the same. We have similar values, we have similar interests, and we need to influence our governments. So this again. Well,
let us tell you a few of the things that we're thinking about as possibilities. Of course, we would like to do...
Sharon offered the group several options for 2016. More trips of Americans as citizen diplomats to different Russian cities. Returning Americans who traveled under CCI's auspices could go to Washington to speak with congressional members and think tanks. Short-term exchanges of high school and university students during summer and academic years. Restarting a former CCI program which brought hundreds of Soviet people to 264 American cities in 1988 and 1989. These Russians met with groups of American citizens, stayed in their homes, talked around breakfast tables, spoke to civic clubs, schools, businesses, and international forums. Across the United States, they were featured in newspapers, radio, and TV, creating a whirlwind of goodwill and new connections that changed the hearts of both peoples. This program needs to be dusted off, renamed, and carried out again.
So I think the world will be safe from an explosion between our two countries if we can just keep it going on long enough for better information to come out, and we see ourselves as one of those information sources that can be utilized.